Dear students, welcome to the next session, classification. Before here going in detail about classification, we'll see what is supervised and what is unsupervised learning. After that, we'll go for a classification and problems in the classification methods. So here supervised learning is a classification method. If you see the supervision, first we'll be collecting a training data. It is nothing but observations, measurements, etc. It are accompanied by labels. That means in which class it is belonging. So indicating the class of the observations. So this is the way your supervised learning will be working. So your attributes will be given and it is corresponding results also will be given in the as a label. So this is the technique of your supervised learning. Suppose if new data is classified based on the training set. So here we require a training set as well as a data set. Your data set will be based on your training set, it will be classified. This is the supervised learning which is based on the classification. Next one is here unsupervised learning, something but a clustering. We does not know the label of this particular attributes. So the class labels of the training data is unknown because we does not know what is the label of this particular attribute. Given a set of measurements, observations, etc., with the aim of establishing the existence of a classes or cluster is in the data. So based on this behavior, we will not come to know in advance. So we will be studying the measurement and observation and then we'll be concluding to a class, that is the clusters of the data. So like that group of the data will be combined and it will be given as a label. That is a clustering technique. So generally there are two. One is a classification and second one is a clustering. A classification is worked under a supervised learning and a clustering is worked under a unsupervised learning. So okay, here the classification versus a numeric prediction. You see here what is a classification. It predicts the categorical class label. Either it can be discrete or a nominal. So classifies the data. So constructs a model based on the training set and the values, that is a class labels in a classifying attribute and use it in a classifying the new data. So first it will train the model with the attributes. It will conclude the result as a class labels. So that is the first step in your training data. Then whenever the new coming data, it will be compared with the already trained data and it will give the result of a label. So that is the concept of a classification. You see the numeric predictions model continuous value function, that is predicts the unknown or a missing values. So the application of this classification where we'll be working is a credit card loan approval, whether based on his attributes or behavior of a paying a loan earlier, his salary, so and so, we can decide whether the particular person can pay the loan or not. Medical diagnosis, if a tumor is a cancer or beginning. So a study of the previous patient's history, we can find out what is the diagnostic to be followed. So this is the previous value will be there where we have taken in the training data set. So based on that, we can decide the test data. And next one is a fraud reduction. If the transaction is fraudulent, we can find out whether this particular persons can be given the loan or not, or you can taken it for the for his work to be for the prediction of the loan or something we can find out. So there is a fraud reduction. Next one is a web page categorization. Which category it is, so which type of search you are doing it. So based on that, your future selections, you can take the class of what you want. Okay, classification, if you see, there are two processes in the classification. First one is a model construction, that is describing a set of predetermined classes. So each tuple or sample is assumed to belong to a predefined class as a determined by a class label attribute. That is the first one in the construction, model construction. First you find each tuple or sample is assumed to belong to a predefined class as determined by the class label attribute. First, we have to find the tuple by tuple and find out its attributes on the class label. The set of tuples used for model construction is a training set. So like that, if you continue the attributes in the class label, so that continuous combinations we are calling is a training set. The model is represented as a classification rule, decision tree, or a mathematical formula. So such type of model we are calling it as a classification rule, decision tree, or a mathematical formula. The model usages for classifying the future or unknown objects. Why this model has been used? Mainly it is used for classifying the future or unknown objects. So how to estimate this accuracy of the model? The known label of a test sample is compared with the classified result from the model. So how to estimate the accuracy of the model means just compare the already the known label of a test sample is compared with the classified result from the model. So your test sample has to be compared with the trained model. So find out there is a match in the both the samples. Accuracy rate is the percentage of the test set samples that were correctly classified of the model. If accuracy is measured, if both the labels are coming closer, then we can tell the accuracy. Test data is independent of the training set, otherwise it is overfitting. So whenever we are taking a test set, that should be independent of your training set what we have taken. So then only you will be having the correct result, otherwise it will become a overfitting. If the accuracy is acceptable, use the model to satisfy the new data. So if your accuracy is acceptable, that means your test data as well as your trained data is good in accuracy, then you can use this model to classify the other new data also. So if the test set is used to select the model, it is called as validation test or validation set. So if the test set is used to select the model, so we have to prepare a test cases and we have to find out whether the model is a correct one or not. So such test is called as a validation set or a validation test. So classification is a two process. First we have to construct the model, then you have to find the accuracy of the model, the working condition of the model, then you have to go for the fitting of the model with the validation test. So here how to construct the model here. So these are all called as attributes. See, this is attribute name of the person and this is the rank, the designation of the person, and this is the year of experience and termed. That means whether he is a permanent or the temporary person. So that has also been given here. So the first person is a name is Mike. He is an assistant professor. He is having the year of experience as 3, but he is not a permanent. So next is a Mary. She is assistant professor. The year of experience is 7 and she is a permanent. Yes. So Bill, professor, year of experience is 2 and name and the type of job is confirmation is yes. So Jim is associate professor, year is 7 and the permanent status is yes. So Dev is assistant professor, year is 6 and the status is no. Annie is a associate professor, year is 3 and experience is no. So like that they have given the data. So these are all called the training data. So based on that we have to frame a classification algorithm. So whether this is called as label, that is permanent. These are all called attributes. This Mike, assistant professor and year. So this is name, rank, year. These are all called the attributes and this tenor is called as a class label. So this will be decided based on this attributes. If you see training data, from this training data we are going for a classification algorithms. So here a classifier model will be there that will be finding whether the given data is correct or not. Suppose if anybody is telling if the rank is a professor or year is greater than 6, then turn on is yes. That means if any data they are giving as a professor and year of experience is 6, Then you have to find out any year of experience is 6 and with professor. So here you see professor year of experience is 2. That means it is greater than 6. That means that is permanent. So like that, based on the trained data set, we can predict what can be the new data. So this is the way how it will be used for a prediction. Okay. So use the model in the prediction. So yes or no. See, suppose now this is a trained data. That's what we have trained. First, we have taken the database that is called as a training data. Then we are using a classification algorithm. It's a classifier model which will be modeled according to the rules. How to test the data of a training set and the your test data and the training data that has to be fixed over here. Then we are constructing the model, because in the algorithm we have seen first is a model construction. So in what way have to construct, how to train the class label. So everything has to be find out. Then model usage, once it has been finalized, model has been filled, then it has to be checked with the test data. See here, the second process using the model in the prediction. So here this is called as a test data. Some other new data is come. So we are finding for this particular person, Mersila, associative professor, year of experience is 7 and tenure is no. So how to find out is first we have to take it as a testing data, then apply for the classifier, which is an unseen data. So here if you see Jeff professor 4 and tenure is yes. If it is greater than 4, we can tell the professor is permanent, because we have seen here if it is greater than 2 only we are making as a 6. So that will be making as a 6. So this particular test data will be no. So like that we have to cross verify it with the existing data set, and we have to find out whether it is correct or not, because it is unseen, because we are not known this data. But based on the rules here, we are able to find out the data set. So this is the way how we can predict your data. Next one is how to construct a decision tree induction. This is one type of algorithm. So how to find out whether this particular algorithm is being used for your prediction. So here if you see, in general, there are two types of algorithms. One is a supervised learning and another one is unsupervised learning. So that's what we have seen. Supervised is a classification and supervised in a clustering method. You see here in this model constructions, we have seen how to construct the model and how to test the model. Okay. Now this is one example. If you see decision tree induction, that means how to construct a decision tree. With an example, it has been given here. This is called a training data set. So this set what they are given is called as a training data set. So here these are called attributes. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 attributes are there, and one class label has been given here. So age is one attribute, income is one attribute, student is one attribute, credit rating is one attribute, and this buys the computer is called the class label. So training data set is buys the computer. The data set follows an example of pay ID3 and resulting tree is been given here. You see here. So age is less than or equal to 30, and it is given us the range between 31 to 40 and greater than 40. So three categories of ages been given. So we are taking age as a root node. Then we have to take age in the three different format, that is less than or equal to 30, 31 to 40 and greater than 40. In that one, whether this age students can be a student or they cannot be a student. So if we take in that way, if it is see 30 to 40, suppose if you see here, if the buys the computer or not. So if you see in this range, 31 to 40, check all the 31 to 40. 31 to 40, here 31 to 40, here 31 to 40. So in all the places you see 31 40 is yes. 31 40 is yes. Here 31 40 is yes. So all are belonging to the same class. That means in this age group of people 31 to 40, they are interested in buying the computer. So we can predict whether this person will buy the computer or not. That is our training data, and test data we have to predict. So if you see the person's age is 31 to 40, we can immediately tell that person can buy the computer. That's what 31 to 40 is yes. Okay. Now if you see 30 less than or equal to 30, if you see one place it is no, here also no, two times it is no, here you see it is no, three places it is no, but here in fourth places it is yes. So here also in the fifth place also it is yes. So if this category means, then we have to say yes or no, where which type of category is coming in this one. And you compare with the another rating, it is a student or not. Okay, because now if you see the student, if it is less than or equal to 30, if this particular person is a student, then he will not buy the computer. Otherwise, yes, the particular person is a student means, yes, he will buy the computer. So you have to verify in which place yes is coming and which place no is coming. So if he is less than or equal to this thing 30, he is a student, no, then he will not buy the computer. If he is less than or equal to 30, she is a student, yes, then she'll buy the computer. So like that, we have to make a decision based on our interest. Suppose if we take it is greater than or equal, greater than 40, it's coming in three places. Greater than 40, here four places, it's five places, it's coming here. So if that is the case means we have to see yes, yes, no, like that, why it is coming, yes and no. So what is the next attributes? I'm comparing the credit rating. The credit rating is excellent means then they will not buy the computer. The credit rating is fair means he will be buying the computer. So like that, based on our interest, we can frame the decision tree inductions with an example. Okay. Now, what are these algorithm for a decision tree induction? Means first one, basic algorithm is a greedy algorithm. Here, the tree is constructed in a top-down recursive divide and conquer. If you see here, since we are constructing the tree from top to bottom because we are dividing the portions and recursively we are adding the attributes. So, trees is constructed in a top-down recursive divide and conquer manner. At start, all the training examples are at the root node. You can see all the examples are starting at the root node. At start, all the training examples are at root node. Attributes are categorized. If continuous valued, they are discretized in the advanced S1. We are categorizing the values, whether it's a continuous value or discrete value, like that you are categorizing it in the first step. See, less than or equal to 30, 31 to 40, greater than 40, like that you are categorizing the values. Okay, examples for our partition recursively based on the selected attributes. So this division is recursively done based on the selective attributes which we are interested. Okay, conditions for stopping the partitions. Okay, we are keep on finding these subdivisions, and when to stop this one is based on all the samples of a given node belonging to the same class. Suppose all the classes of the belonging node. So whatever node we are taking it, it has to meet to the SR node. There should not be further analysis. So that time we have to stop the node. See, everywhere only one class we are coming here, SR node. Either our leaf node should be yes or no. In this, in all the node has been coming to one particular place, then we can tell the process has been completed. Otherwise, still it will be keep on drilling it. See, less than student, then it is like that. It is we keep on growing it. So it has to be stopped when all the samples of a given node belonging to a same class. And there are no remaining attributes for further partitioning. So it has to be stopped if there is no remaining attributes for further partitioning. So the majority voting is employed for classifying the leaf. So there are no samples left. That means all the leaf node has to be reached in a particular place and there should not be any samples left. Okay, this is a brief review of entropy. It's an information theory where the measure of uncertainty associated with the random variable is found out. So the calculation is for a discrete random variable y. Taking m discrete values, we are getting y1 to ym. So the hypothesis of y is taken as pi log of pi, where pi is equal to p into y minus yi. So interpretation is taken as high entropy means higher uncertainty. Low entropy means lower uncertainty. So it's mainly worked on a conditional probability. So conditional entropy is y given that x is sigma p of x h into y of y by x is equal to x. Okay, attribute selection measures. How we have to select the attributes. Select the attributes with the highest information gain. Suppose let Pi be the probability that an attribute tuple is D belonging to the class C, then estimated is by modulus of CID is modulus of CID divided by modulus of D. That means your expected information of entropy is needed to classify a tuple D. That means information of D is minus sigma I is equal to 1 to m, where Pi into log 2 of Pi. Information needed after using P to split D into V variations to be classified the D. So in which place we are going to classify is taken as information of A of D, where sigma is equal to J is equal to 1 to V, that modulus of Dj divided by modulus of D into information of Dj. Information gained by branching an attribute A is given by gain of A is equal to info of D minus info of A of D. So if you take the example, if you see how to select the attribute selection information gain here, you see class P. Here buys the computer is yes. Class N buys the computer is equal to no. So how to calculate the information of D? So how many transactions are there here? You have to continue. See, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So total number of transaction is 4. In that, how many buys the computer and how many does not the buy the computer, you have to count. So yes is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So buys the computer is 9. Does not buy the computer is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like that you have to find and substitute the value and you have to find the log value. If you substitute and do it, you'll be getting the log value, that is information of a database is 0.940. So in that one, what is your attribute selection? You are getting with the age. If less than or equal to age, with the S is 2, with the no is 3. So similarly 31 to 40 with the who buys the computer will be 4, who will not buys the computer will be 0. So like that you have to segregate the value separately in a small tabular column based on your interest, whatever you want. Then you have to apply in the formula given. That means 5 by 14 is S is 5 by 14. In that your student's age is less than 2 is with the age means we can getting 2 and 3. So plus the other one is no is 4 by 14 with the value see 4 and 0. Next one is with 3 and 2. So like that all combinations of these ages will be finding separately and we have to find the mean over here. So what is the gain means information minus information, there is a entire database minus the information age what we calculated, we are getting is 0.246. So similarly we can take the attributes whichever you want. Now it has been taken for age, so similarly you can take it for a income, student, credit card. So credit rating, everything it can be used. This is the way how it has been calculated. So So this is the algorithm how to make the best slit for the pointer. So this is the comparison attribute selection measures. There are three measures in general, return a good results, but information gain is biased towards the multi-valued attribute, and gain ratio is tends to refer the unbalanced split in which one partition is much smaller than the other. So like that, Gini index is there. It is based on multivariate attributes, which has difficulty when number of classes is large. Tends to favor tests that result is equal size partitions and purity in both the partitions. That means, for example, if it is having a single class, that means we will be having only a single class, whether it buys or not buys. That means this will be working for a good method. If the more number of classes is there, it is very difficult to find the predictions. It will become a bias over here. So it depends upon the selection of the attribute, we can find the values. The next one is a rule-based algorithm that we will see next class.